Hey, you guys, we are back with the Face to Face podcast. And today we have a really special guest by the name of Ciara. She is one of Detroit's top beauty professionals. She does specialize in permanent makeup artistry. So make sure y'all check her out. What is it? I am Babes and Blades, right?
I am Babes and Blaze. Yep.
Yes, on Instagram. So make sure y'all check her out. And today we'll be talking about her life journey, her story, and sharing a couple of thoughts. You know how we do. So I'll let you get into it. Are you ready to get into our face to face session?
I am ready.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, your upbringing, and how you got into entrepreneurship.
Um. So. So in terms of my upbringing, like to just be all the way honest, I don't feel like my upbringing has much to do with my choice to be an entrepreneur.
Okay.
My mother, she pretty much worked a job. My dad was probably the entrepreneur,
Okay.
but I didn't grow up in the same household as him. So, you know, we are basically kind of like what we grow up around. And so my
Yeah.
mother didn't have like an entrepreneurial skill set when I was a child. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
all I knew was basically to be kind of like a worker. I
Yeah.
feel like my desire to be an entrepreneur was geared more so around the fact that I'm a felon
Okay.
and that I did in total 12 years in prison.
Okay.
So getting out and trying to navigate in society, the first time I did 2 years, when I came out, the laws were like, we're not hiring felons.
Oh, yeah,
My
yeah.
first crime was, I guess you could call it a violent felony.
Yeah.
So I took to selling drugs, and
Yeah.
that landed me the 10 years. And so
Okay.
getting out, it was like the only equivalent to that same salary
Yeah.
is to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah. Yeah, you like, okay, I gotta what I'm used to.
I
I
gotta get out
gotta
there and make it
get something, gotta figure out something because
Yeah.
I'm used to a certain lifestyle. So
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so tell us a little bit about that. How was your journey with prison, and how did that shape you prepare you, shall I say, for when you got out of prison?
The first time that I went to prison, I was young. I went to prison twice. So the first time I was like 20 years old. And that situation was like kind of around like jealous females, and they were basically kind of like stalking me and things of that nature. And so I was more reactive to a situation or a circumstance that I was placed in.
Yeah.
And so that landed me a violent felony. And I had to do 2 years in prison for a gun charge, and then like 4 years probation for felonious assault.
Okay.
Once I was released from prison from doing my 2 years, finding a job was like, nobody hiring no fellas.
Fella, yeah.
Man, the box didn't exist yet. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
got down to that question. It was either you could lie or you could tell the truth.
Truth, yeah.
But I was like, forget it. I'm just gonna tell the truth. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because I hate to be in here and then later on down the line they find out. When you
Yeah.
got a state felony, they gonna find it. A
Yeah.
federal felony, they least likely to find it because it's
Okay.
in a different system. So they
Okay,
really
look,
find
yeah.
that one.
You was getting on fly with that one. You was getting on fly with that one.
Yeah. So I couldn't find a job, and so that led me to selling drugs because I needed to provide for myself.
Yeah.
That drug run, it didn't really last long, but like maybe a few years. And like before I was even out of the drug game, I had a child. My daughter was like 4 months old when I finally went to prison. And when they first sentenced me, they was like 188 months. And I'm like, girl, I couldn't even count.
Yeah. I know you was like in shock, like, oh
I
Lord.
was like 10, 11, 17. Is this?
You trying to do your math 12 times, because 12 months in a year. So 12, how many is that? Okay.
In my mind, 10 months was in a year. And that's why I don't know, my mind was messed up.
The math was not math.
It wasn't math.
Yes.
It wasn't math. So once I went to prison, and I had my daughter was what you would call maybe like my catalyst for change. It was like, okay, I can't keep living this life. I can't keep doing this.
Yeah.
I missed out on some very, very important milestones for my daughter. And
How old is she now? I'm sorry.
now she's 13.
Okay.
But my desire in getting through that season in prison, because naturally, of course, you're in like an aggressive environment. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of volatile sometimes. You have people that are that don't have nothing to lose, that don't have no family, don't have no support system, and then you got some people that do, and you got some people that got more than enough, and so you run into problems or situations.
Yeah.
After my first few like fights or visits, I say like the last one being when my daughter was about 18 months, and she just, you don't think that a child at that age could really express like the type of feeling that she expressed to me one day on the phone, and it was like
18 months.
18 months,
Okay.
and she was talking. And so we're talking, I'm like, hey, McKay, you know, baby talk. And so I'm like, it's your mama. I could hear her walking in my mom's house. And they had that kind of kitchen where it went through the living room and back through the kitchen. So like this.
Okay.
So she walking and she like, oh, and then when she hit a certain point, she like, no, you not Ma, you Ciara. And I'm like, I'm your mama.
Yeah.
She like, no, you not Ma, you Ciara. No. And she said it like 3 or 4 times, and I'm like, I'm gonna whoop your butt.
Yeah.
I'm your mama. I'm your mama. But that was my first experience in knowing she knows that I'm not there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She knows. She's fully aware. She has her feelings. She's a human being.
Yeah.
And
like
she feeling this.
Months.
She 18 months. It blew my wig back.
Yeah.
Some of the things that my daughter was, it just blew my wig back. So, she was my reason. At one point, I just said I can't get in trouble no more because it hurts my child for me to be in seg for 60 days and not be able to talk to her or communicate with her the way that I would like to.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So, yeah, it was definitely a learning experience. I felt like that's where I connected to God the most.
When you were in there, do you feel like it strengthened your faith for sure?
It did, because I didn't have a choice. Yeah. It was a lot of dark moments where I felt like I just like, am I talking to the wall?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you feel like when you were in there, were you already like trying to plan for like, okay, when I get out of here, I gotta figure out something. I gotta see what is my next steps. Like, well, how am I gonna become better? Or what did that like click? Like, or you get that idea once you came home?
So I feel like in the beginning, you more so surrounded with, okay, I got these 4 walls. You still trying to process the time that was given.
Yeah.
So to think about what I'm gonna do when I get out of here, it really wasn't, it didn't happen in that moment because it seemed so far away.
Yeah.
I needed to focus on just getting through my day to day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. How was that? Like, how was your mental health when you were in prison?
So initially I stayed in the county jail in West Virginia for about 2 years.
Okay.
That was like, I would say that was the part where it was like the stripping of who I was. Okay. You go from, sleeping in a king size bed and you got satin sheets and all the luxuries, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To absolutely nothing. Like you sleeping on the floor on a mat with a blanket this thin and the food that's thrown through the slot is just, it's not the same. You know what I'm saying? So there were no mirrors, like the mirror that you would have would be kind of like a foggy piece of something that was kind of like reflective. So you could barely see your reflection in there. And you don't have no makeup. You don't have no weave. You don't have no nothing. So now I'm figuring out who this person is without all of that stuff all over again. Because when I did the 2 years prior to that, it was still kind of the same, but this was a little more intense because I had more to lose. Like I was responsible for something and for someone. Yeah. So it was tough.
It was I was about to say like you said, stripping yourself from who you were. Do you feel like it stripped you from your past? Or do you just feel like it stripped you kind of completely? Like when you, by the time after those 2 years, you feel like a new person. Like you didn't even recognize or know who you were.
I feel like I was a new person. I had to figure out, I think I went through a moment where I needed to figure out my identity, even down to like, okay, so how do I want to, how am I going to wear my hair in here? Like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna focus on? Who is Ciara now? Like, I'm not a mom. Well, I'm still a mom, but still struggling with my baby not here. So I'm not a mama. I'm not nothing what I used to be or what I thought I was.
Yes. Okay. When you were in there, did you know you were going to, of course, like later on down the line, is that when you realized like, okay, I'm going to get into the beauty industry?
So prior to that, I was already in the beauty industry. I've been in the beauty industry since I was like a teenager.
Well, yes.
You already Auntie Trish.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Listen, today Auntie Trish thinks she is solely responsible for who I am. Auntie
Yes.
she packed, baby. She
did though. She was
swear
doing
she
her
made
thing.
me.
She introduced. Yeah, she had her salon and everything. She did.
We was 10 washing heads at the bowl. You know what I'm saying? And so from there, like just being in the hair salon, like that was hair was my thing back then. You know, so like, and then I went through phases where I would like get a job or whatever. But I always stayed in the beauty industry.
So you always feel like you had the skill for sure.
I always had the skill. Yeah.
So when you what introduced you to permanent makeup artistry?
Okay, so in terms of permanent makeup, once I was in federal prison, you know, we get magazines and stuff like that, so we might be a little slow to the information or what's up and coming, but eventually it all
It comes to y'all.
Yeah, it comes to us.
Y'all be hip.
Yes, and so when I first heard about it, I was like, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
When I was in prison, I used to do like my makeup for visits and stuff like that. We used to have all kinds of makeup and stuff once in federal prison.
Yeah.
So for visits and stuff like that, I would do my own makeup, and I would do it so well that people would be like, Ciara, can you do my makeup?
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, or can you just do my brows? And like, I don't really want, so I would do people's brows and fill them in and, you know, arch them, and I know threading, and I know, you know, all of these things.
That is cool. Y'all was doing all that in there?
Yeah, because, you know.
Oh, yes. I mean, I heard of the makeup, but the brow threading, I did not know that.
Yes, so brow threading, because in county jail, you don't have tweezers.
Yeah, yeah.
It's nothing, it ain't no wax.
Yeah.
So you gonna pull a little string out of a pants leg.
I didn't even think of that.
So yeah, I'm self-taught threader.
Okay, yes, period. Okay.
Yes. But so when I first seen it and I heard about it, I was like, I'm gonna do that. I remember I was in a residential drug treatment program, and that was when I was like looking at a magazine. I was like, I'm doing this when I get out. I'm doing this when I get out. At that time, Hanati is a friend that I've had from way before.
Okay.
So I used to work at Fairlane Mall. When I caught my first case, I was working at Fairlane Mall in the hair salon. It's called Trico Salon and Spa. Okay. So that's where me and Natty, we came up. Me and Natty been knowing each other for a very long time. So when I went to prison, though, she didn't know where I was. You know, we hadn't communicated about that part of my life. And so when I got out, I didn't know that she was Natty B.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And still, it wasn't like, oh, this Natty B. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It was just more so like, I'm calling like, hey, girl, you know. And she's like, where have you been? And,
yeah.
You know, and one thing led to another. And it was like, yeah, I was thinking about, you know, taking the class, and she like, come up here. You know what I mean? Come up here. And she, from the day I came to take the class, like Natty has shown love from there, like all the way down.
Until you know? She helped like train you and mold you. Yes.
Yeah.
I love that. So, okay, y'all got a nice little history. So, before getting into or working with Natty, were you already like just doing brows by yourself?
No. So when I first got out of prison, okay, so I got out of federal prison October 2022, and I stayed in the halfway house until January of 2023. No, what year is this?
24.
24. I've been out. I'm gonna be 3 years out.
So 21.
So 21.
21.
Okay, so I was released October 21. I got out of halfway house in January 22.
Okay.
I got out, I think, January 14th. Natty's class was January 26th, 7th, you know, the last week of the month.
Yeah.
And I was in that class.
Yes. You was hitting the ground running.
I was like, I'm taking this class. And so when I before I took the class, I was working at factories. I was doing like factory jobs. I was really trying to get my foot in the door, you know.
Like Chrysler or GM?
Bridgewater.
Okay.
I worked at Bridgewater. I worked at Wabasto. And then of course I worked at a salon too, like because I still had that. So I went into the salon like assistant and still like building my clientele, doing hair and stuff like that. But no, I wasn't fully doing. I wasn't doing anything brows at that point.
At that point when you first came home. So how long do you feel like it kind of took you to like build your skill and go full on with it? Like, okay, to where I'm taking people, I'm back giving the service.
So in the beginning, I took the class, and then, you know, you have that moment where it's like, okay, so do I go full on or do I like continue to work a job? Because, you know, it's like make money or sacrifice or sacrifice or make money. And so I was like, okay, I gotta make some money.
Yeah.
You know, so for about 4 months, I quit.
Doing brows?
Yeah, I quit. I took the class and didn't go full into it right away. So at about my 4 month mark, you know, me and Natty, we had been in communication some, you know, over the time that I wasn't present. And I called her one day and I'm like, okay, I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? But it took some events to occur to put me there though. It was like I gotta bet it all on something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So I was gonna say, what events? Like, tell us a little.
Okay, so when I first came home, I lived with my mom. And the reason that I chose to do that was because my daughter was living with her. And so it was like, all right, well, I want to establish a relationship with my child before I'm like, okay, come on, we go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to just snatch her from that environment. I believe my mother had her own expectation of what my life should have looked like, or the decisions I should have made, or, you know, I want to say she wanted to control me.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like it's a point in time where as a mother, you always look at your child as this is a baby.
Yeah.
But, you know, when we get grown, it's like,
I'm an adult now.
I'm grown. You know what I'm saying? You can ease up off me some. So I would say we just had a difference of opinion on how things should go. And that led to her putting me out. Like, I wouldn't say my mama probably put me out 2 times. When my mama put me out, you would have thought that maybe I had started selling drugs again. I would say my mother lacked grace for my transition.
Okay.
She wanted to make it more so about her transition. And it's like, we got to be give and take. You know what I'm saying? It take a village to raise a child. Like, you know, can I get a little grace? I'm going to give you a little grace. We can work as a team. She wanted to be the dictator. So she put me out. And when I went back to Natty, this was the second time that she had put me out. And so I had just got like a new car and everything, and I'm staying with somebody, and I called her and I'm just like, okay, I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not playing no more. I'm coming. And she like, all right, you know, well, come on. And so from that day moving forward, she's very serious about when people come and they take the class, and if you putting in what you supposed to put in, then she gonna put in twice as much as what you putting in to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you're not gonna get that from her if you're not working.
Exactly. Doing the work.
You gotta do the work. And so
I feel like that's like with a lot of mentors. Like, you know, you gotta be showing that you really want it. You know?
Yeah. So I went in full throttle. It probably took me about 6 months. I would say when she says she gives 6 months of continued support, that 6 months is very, very necessary to groom you and to shape you, because there are some aspects of permanent makeup that are just super hard. But the only way that you're going to get it is if you're consistently practicing and consistently learning and watching. And so, you know, you figure out if you learn better by somebody talking to you or if you're looking at somebody do something. But it's all available when you come up there.
With her.
Yes.
Yes. And shout out to her for that, for helping you with that and helping your transition. Because, yes, I love that for you. How is your relationship with your mom now?
Still estranged.
Still estranged?
Yep.
What about with your daughter?
My daughter loves me.
Oh, yes. I love that for you.
My daughter loves me. But I would say that our situation is a little complicated because of the influence of my mother.
Yeah.
I have yet to hear my mother say, Ciara, job well done.
Since you've been home?
Yes. I've yet to hear her say that. My mother does not congratulate me on any of my accolades. To be full on honest and truthful about the situation. If she is proud of me, I really just don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So. Well, I'm proud of you, because that's a very good transition from prison to really being like able to change. Because I know I've had history with people who've been in prison. My boyfriend did time, and I know it can be hard when you get out of prison to not revert back to your old ways and to like just move on and see what else, or like you said, look at yourself as like a new person. So that is like something to definitely be congratulated about. So I definitely want to, you know, let you know, congratulations. I'm very proud of you. I've been seeing you definitely do your thing and do your brows. Inspired me, because I was doing makeup, and brows have always been my struggle. So I'm like, let me take a class. And I took another class, like a brow mapping class. It was good, but the girl, she ended up moving out of town.
Okay.
So then I seen Natty was doing classes. I'm like, my cousin worked. Let me go train with her and see, you know, what her class is about. And I loved it. So I do feel like I know that you under good hands too. So yeah, like that's dope. Yes, I am very proud of you.
Cute.
So, okay, so how do you prioritize your mental health while managing the demands of entrepreneurship now? With having such, like, you know, a history and so much other things that's going on, how is your mental health being an entrepreneur now?
I feel like that's a good question because when you just said, I'm proud of you, I was about to say, I'm proud of me too.
Good.
You know, you got to talk nice to yourself.
Yes, yes, yes.
I have had to learn how to just talk nice to myself and be kind to myself because I already have, like, you know, when you come out, you got probation, and, you know, you got the judge and you got society. Yeah. So you already really trying to prove yourself, or it seems like, you know, I'm trying to prove myself to so many people.
Everybody,
you know, my mama, my daughter, you know, anybody, my auntie, my uncle, everybody watching. They really waiting for the moment where you go mess up. You know what I'm saying? And I have really implemented, like, meditation and you know, things of that nature, because I feel like when I first came home and I was going through all those things with my mom and then getting put out and then still trying to fight and, you know, for what's mine in terms of my child, and, you know, like, basically with the way that my mom was acting or treating me, being able to look at myself in the mirror and not question, like, dang, am I messed up?
Like am I a bad person?
Am I a bad person? Like, okay, so I'm not on drugs, I don't sell drugs, I don't date like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't around no weird, I don't have people running in and out my house. I got a home. I got a car, I got a career. You know, questioning
yourself.
Myself. That was a turning point where I realized sometimes in life when you deal with people will talk to you and deal with you, or talk to you so that you stay in where they want you to be, or that past. Like, they don't know how to not speak to the past person.
Yeah, they don't know how to accept the growth.
They don't know how to accept
like
the growth.
That you are a new person, and give you, like you say, that grace, that space to just be something new. You know?
New. Yep, just to be something new. And so I had to learn how to, like I said, talk to myself nice and deal with my own esteem issues surrounding that situation, because that really trickled off into not only my business, because there's times where I say initially when everything was going on, I just went hard into brows. Like, there would be days that I'm there from, I ain't lying to you, 7 o'clock in the morning until 9 o'clock at night. I'm taking clients back to, I'm taking clients back to back to back. Mm-hmm. And I focused up on that, because all of this over here just hurt real bad. You know what I'm saying? Right. But then it came a time where I had to transition out of focusing real hard to, okay, you got to fix some stuff on the inside, because me focusing here on this, like, although it's good and it's going to pay the bills, it's still a distraction from your mental and what's going on the internal part of it. Realizing how, like I said, it affects my I guess you could say romantic relationships. There was a point in time where I guess you could call it, I'm trying to date. It was one person that I've been dealing with for like 20 years. Mm-hmm. And I would say that he probably got the brunt of
everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything. And so now that I'm woke today, like, I'm talking to the past, like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, the moments where, because of how my mother is, like, treating me like, it's not enough.
Yeah. That's so how you felt.
Yeah. So now I'm on him like, it's not enough. It's not enough. It's not, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, when are you going to do something?
Yeah.
Get up.
Feel like you was taking it out. You feel like a little bit on them.
Oh, not a little bit.
Like a lot.
If I'm just all the way honest, it was a lot.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I woke up and I was like, okay, girl, wait a minute. I would say it probably was a moment where I looked at myself in the mirror and I realized the drastic change of my appearance. Because when I came home, I was like 160 pounds. You know, my weave was hard, my stomach was flat.
Yeah.
You know?
You like, I'm come on, bed, okay?
I was it. And then
We got some tissue.
when life started happening, I started kind of like gaining weight. You know, I'm eating all the wrong things. You know, I got sensitive skin.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, girl, I looked in the mirror. I was like, girl, you can't look like what you're going through.
Yeah.
Now, hold on.
You like, we got to get this together. That's how I be too. Yes, especially when you are trying to like heal, and sometimes people are just like not understanding to like that period that you are in when you trying to, like you say, you getting yourself together, you getting your car, you working on just trying to really get you some stability and a foundation. And everybody is just not understanding to that point, but a lot of times it is good when you can look in the mirror and be like, you know what, okay, well, I'm gonna get me together, you know. So
Yeah. I don't know what we were saying.
oh,
What was we saying?
your relationships. And I was also asking, how is your mental health now with being an entrepreneur?
So I believe that now I have conquered some areas. And it's like, Ciara, don't hold back, just go. You know, now you got the keys, now you got the tools. But I'm not gonna sit here and lie and act like there are not days when I'm like, I don't feel like posting.
Yeah.
I don't feel like unveiling myself to the world. I don't feel like dealing with likes and comments and shares.
Yes.
I don't feel like it. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Because I'm doing good enough to just get up every day.
And get through the day.
Man, what? To be totally honest, I will say just recently I went through an emotional and mental transition yet again, where I was like, I had to do a lot of shadow work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of things that, like I said, I'll push it to the side or ignore it, just saying, okay, I'm getting through the day.
Yeah.
But all of that stuff had to get dug back up again.
Yeah, for you to heal.
For me to heal again.
Yeah.
And for me to be able to be this version of Ciara that's sitting right here on this couch.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a new version today. Like, I'm learning my spiritual gifts. I'm like honing in on just who I am and what I want my life to look like moving forward, because I had spent so much time living to please
everybody else
that I neglected myself.
Yeah.
I neglected myself, and I was like, no, it's all about me.
Yeah, because you can't, and that's something that like I do live by, is that like I do believe that you cannot love other people unless you love yourself. You can't really do nothing for other people. Like just to piggyback off you, like how you were saying, like I say that all the time because like I deal with anxiety and depression myself, and people will try to make you feel away for like either not showing up or not always giving 110% or not always just being on it, because you have so many people who put up a front, like they just get everything done, they just miss perfect, they just do this and do that, and it's like people don't understand how hard it is for some people to just get up out the bed and go to work. Yeah. Like, you don't understand, like you talking about content every day and doing X, Y, and Z, and it's like people do not understand how hard it is just for you to show up for yourself. Because I had a situation where I'm a big procrastinator. And if something like, if I'm having, like I'll be about to go somewhere, and if I start getting anxiety, I'm probably not going. So, you know, or like I'll like just, I might even, if I do show up, I'm just not showing up like 100% me, like myself. So, I had like two situations where I had showed up and I got an opportunity. These are two totally separate situations, but I got an opportunity from them both. And then that prompted me to be like, well, you know what, F your anxiety. You know, when you feeling like that, like still just, you know, show up, because you just never know. But I'm like I say, people just don't know the mental capabilities and things and how hard it is sometimes for people to show up. Because I know, like I say, everybody's different and it works different for everybody. But like with you, like you said, the stuff you dealing with mentally or your past, they just looking, people coming to you as a client, they just looking at you as their brow tech. You know, they not, like you said, understanding how hard it is for you to show up. So yes, that right there, that is so true.
And it is like, for us, going out and being amongst people, that's the only way we go get clients.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest. I have been blessed. I will say that, for me to be able to carry my business, because I have not been the socialite that I once was. I lost my best friend in 2018, And that really, like, honestly, since then, I ain't really been a partier. I ain't really been out, because he was like the person that I always went out with, or, you know, he would call me. Really, he called me, because I still, even then, like, I wasn't always trying to go out nowhere, but he would call me like, what you doing today? No, get up, we going outside, we go outside tonight, or something like that. So it's like not having that. And then from there, I went to just being in my relationship, and then I lost my boyfriend in 2022. So it's like, once again, I'm like by myself. So it's like I don't be having to go out and do X, Y, and Z. For me, that has not, I will say, that has not been how I have carried my business and got my clients. Social media has definitely been it, and word of mouth. Yep. Like, if it was not for that, I definitely would not be where I am right now. Cause like you said, that is how we make or meet, you know, the bulk of our client, from going outside, networking, and things like that. So I'm grateful. I'm really grateful for that. How do you feel like that's how you mainly have built your clientele, from going out networking?
No, ma'am. I would say that. Okay, so coming home from prison after doing all that time, to go out to a club or something, that gave me anxiety to the 1,000th power. Yeah. But I had this person, you know what I'm saying, and he was like my shield.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if I went out, it was with him.
Yeah.
I was about to say 90% of the time. No, I'm going to say 100% of the time. It was with him. And he was my comfort zone. Mm-hmm. And so with him, I felt safe. I felt, you know what I mean? I felt protected. I felt like nothing can happen and it's okay. And I don't have to worry about if people are looking at me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because he's like, babe, you good. You
know
what I'm saying?
You good.
Like, he give it what it's supposed to give. And so, yeah, that was my going out partner, like your best friend.
Yeah.
But then there was a time where he wasn't.
Yeah.
And so then, you know, I kind of felt like a little naked, you know what I'm saying? Because now I gotta go by myself. So my best friend, and they're like, girl, come on, we at, and I'm like, okay, so I pull up and I gotta sit outside for like 15 minutes.
Yeah, just to get your thoughts and everything together.
Oh my God, my heart beating real fast in my chest.
Yeah.
And so even though, like, in the beginning, like, maybe he wasn't available to go with me, he was still, like, I could call him, like, I'm sitting outside, I got anxiety.
Yeah.
And he like, all right, it's all right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
to help talk you back.
Help talk me back. And so it was a transition for me. Now, more so now, I'm understanding the benefit, or being able to enjoy it a little bit more. Like, okay, you can go out, but it's still very few and far between, because
where you go,
I work like a DOG.
Yes, you try to stay busy. Yes. To avoid having to really do that. But when you do, it's like, okay, I could do it.
Yes.
I could do it with it. So, okay, just to piggyback on your relationships, how has your relationships and entrepreneurship been? Like, how have you been able to balance the two?
I would say in the beginning, he didn't really put like a lot of pressure on me. He was pretty easygoing. He was very supportive of what I had going on. He was like my biggest cheerleader.
Oh, yes.
So I'm not gonna say was he. At that, okay, let's put some words. At that time, he was my biggest cheerleader. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? He was definitely like a confidence boost for me. Now I am more so like, okay, in order to get to the next level, I need to really, really focus on myself. You know what I'm saying? So I can say probably right now, I'm not, if somebody want to date me, they got to understand that, listen, unless we're married,
okay,
please don't put any absurd expectations on me in terms of making you a priority in my life, because to whatever capacity that you make me the priority, that's going to be to the same capacity that I make you the priority.
Right.
So if you come to me with, you know, dust or crumbs, I can't do nothing.
Give me something to work with.
I can't do nothing with that. I'm definitely I'm a grind it. I love you. I will grind it out with you. I'm talking about the trenches. Okay? I'm gonna grind it out with you from the trenches. But I think the stigmatism that society has put on women so even in my era of growing up in my 20s, it was like, the girls was looking for the guys that sold drugs or whatever, because girl, they gonna spend that money, you know what I'm saying? Now you got women taking charge and making waves, and you know what I'm saying, being super successful. And so that stigmatism.
They the men with money.
They the men with money. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I'm about to be the man with the money. I'm about to be the man with the money. Yes. So like, I mean, everybody got to go through their little phase where they grow and they heal. And I don't feel like you can have an effective relationship unless you've grown, put some work in to grow and to heal. There's no such thing as being healed. Oh, I'm healed. No, you're going to always be challenged. Yeah. And as a matter of fact, when you get into a relationship with somebody, that's when your triggers really come out. You know what I mean? Yes. You're dealing with your childhood traumas and, your inner child talking to his inner child. And it could be a little chaotic if you don't have a person that's educated and knowledgeable enough to know that, okay, it's a give and a take. Okay, let me listen to you. Okay, let me hold you. Okay, you know what I mean? Because it's a lot of little sassy ninjas out here.
Yeah, the ninjas do be sassy these days. Sassy. Do you feel like your love life has influenced your personal growth?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah. I do. I don't feel like it was like a by choice kind of thing. Mm-hmm. I think it was like, I think at one point I started to realize how my actions and all of that was, my actions and my trauma was affecting my relationship, and I was waking up to it. But if you are a person that has been through something and you have traumas and whatever, you know that when you're in the midst of your trauma, sometimes you don't see yourself. Yeah. But even when you start seeing yourself, you can't really stop yourself. You just becoming aware that this is what I'm doing. Like, oh, I'm tearing you down. Oh, I'm tearing you down.
I'm being aggressive.
Or, I'm being aggressive. Or, oh, I'm talking too loud. Okay, okay, be like, But sometimes your mind catching up to actually what your body is doing, that's a transition, and it take a little time in itself.
Yeah.
And then once you start working on making the actual physical adjustments, there are still times when you revert back to that self. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It could be, it's a lot of work.
A lot of self-work, yes.
It is a lot of self-work. And so to me, it takes space and distance, because for real, we not married. Some of my healing need to be done in my room by myself, because when I was in prison, that's all I had. I was in a cell. I was by myself. And so that's really how I know how to heal, is to lay back and deal with Ciara. I can't deal with Ciara that's the girlfriend to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I gotta really get down to the nitty gritty with Ciara so that I can be Ciara.
The girlfriend.
That's the girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The girlfriend, the entrepreneur, the mom, yeah. So
it definitely has influenced it.
It definitely has influenced it.
What about your relationships what would be maybe 3 things that you feel like your relationships have taught you, as far as like how to balance with being an entrepreneur, working with people, your personal self-growth? Like, what are 3 things maybe you feel like you need to work on?
That I need to work on,
or that you decided, or that you have been working on?
I think that's a different question. Let me see. That I need to work on as of now?
Yeah.
So I would say that, and how my relationships has affected this?
Yes.
The lesson that,
like what have you learned from your relationships? Like maybe 3 specific things that you've learned from your relationships that are contributing to your personal growth now. Like maybe
people need grace.
Yes.
Love is where grace abounds. So if there is no grace, then
it
ain't no love. If it ain't no grace, it ain't no love. Mm-hmm. You have to talk to your person like the person that you want them to become. So that includes self. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Like I need to probably work on that too.
Yeah. If I want you to be a strong black man,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? A provider.
Yeah.
A good listener, a communicator.
Yeah.
Then I need to talk to you like that.
Yeah.
Because if I'm like, hey, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Then I'm talking to you like, so in my mind, I want you to be these things, but I'm talking to you like you down here. This is where you gonna stay.
Yep, that's true.
This is where you gonna stay. So learning how to balance or to remove the emotion so that I can shape the growth, shape the person, shape the, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shape the one that I want, the person that I want to become.
Yeah.
So third, I don't know how this might tie into that, but how you treat people is a direct reflection of how you feel about yourself.
Really? Okay.
So if I come into work and I got an attitude and I'm, you know, that's really because I'm feeling like shit
on the inside or something.
Yeah. And so learning how to check that so that you, the true definition of leave it outside the door. When you go to work, leave it all outside the door.
Yeah.
That
is real.
That's a real thing.
It is.
That's a real thing.
I will say, I feel like for me, I worked at T-Mobile, and you know that's like sales, customer service. So it was like, I feel like there I really strengthened that skill. Well, I worked in retail a lot, honestly, before I became an entrepreneur because I worked at Victoria's Secret. But I felt like I used to have to do that a lot. Like I'd be going through something, I done been getting into it with my boyfriend or something before going into work. And then it's like when you go in there, now I gotta sell phones. So I can't be funky, you know, or mad at them because, you know, I just got into it with somebody or a friend or something, you know, like I can't, or whatever going on, like I can't just take it out on them. So that really, and when I think back to even Chipotle, because you know that's like the line, so people coming through, and it's like somebody just made you mad, like one of your coworkers, and it's like you can't just be funky like what, hi, you know. So it's like that really helped shape. So now I feel like as an entrepreneur, my clients probably never know. I probably be them had the worst day, and then I go in there and they be like, hey, and I'm just like, hey, like you say, you just gotta turn it off when you get to that door, like. It's a mental thing, for sure.
Because if you don't, you're going to miss your money. Right. You might not get no tip.
Yeah.
Who wants bad service?
Exactly.
You're not going to get no referrals.
You get a bad review. Like, you don't want that.
You're not going to get no and listen, like, because, okay, so you there, you know, you might be doing a facial or whatever. Like, that's your energy, they can definitely feel that, you know, because you on their face. For me, I'm drawing out an eyebrow or, you know what I'm saying, something like that. So if my mental all foggy and everything, then I can't have oh well, fucking shit.
Yeah.
I can't have that. I can't half-ass my job.
Yes. It's gonna reflect.
Oh my God. I gotta bring 110%.
Yeah.
I got to.
Each time.
Nothing less.
Yes. So as far as being a beauty professional, what are some like long-term goals that you have? Okay, don't we all? Want to be a billionaire, yes. Speak that energy. Come on.
Freaking bad. I think everybody's goal is I want to make all the money.
Yes.
I want to make a lasting impression on this industry. I am a 2-time felon, you know what I mean? And I came out and you know, I'm about to get off probation and I'm not in any trouble and I'm succeeding and I'm, you know, learning how to navigate, you know, through this thing. I invest in myself. I invest in myself consistently. You know, I want to invest in myself even more. When I first got into doing brows, I was like, I want to specialize in corrective brow services. Yes. And so I was like, I want to do removal and, you know, and then, you know, fix people's brows because some people are just got bad brows, bad services, bunch of jobs. Yeah. And so in May that just passed, I took a class. I flew to Texas and I took laser tattoo removal, and then in June I went back twice, May and June. So laser tattoo removal, laser hair removal, because like you know, this industry it has those pockets where it's slow, and so you have to have other services to be able to, you know, accommodate your slow season or whatever. But you know, when I took that laser tattoo removal, I was the only black girl in a room full of doctors. I don't have no doctor background.
Wow.
You know
How
what I
was
mean?
that experience?
Girl, it was amazing. So when I got down there every morning, like driving to the class, I was listening to Ty Tribbett anyhow. And that song, like, it carried me through that trip. It kind of opened me up to make me susceptible and, you know, to get whatever it was I was supposed to get from this environment, knowing that, hey, I'm not here by chance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
2-3 years ago, Ciara, you were sitting inside of a cell. You was behind prison walls. You was thinking like, your date to get out of here wouldn't come. And now here you are, traveling to Texas to take a class that a lot of people wouldn't, you know, if you talk to some people, they be like, well, why are you gonna do laser tattoo removal? You need to have this, and this. Yeah, but I'm stepping out on faith because I know I need this, and this, but they ain't saying I can't. They ain't saying I don't qualify. They ain't saying, so I'm going for what, at this point in my life, in terms of my career, I've done everything that I said I was going to do.
Yes,
I've done everything that. So that's another answer to the question. If you say you're gonna do it, then just do it.
Yes.
Just do it. Just do it. No matter what people say, no matter what's going on around you, no matter what your circumstance is, use that. Refuel that to be your drive to push you to the next level of success, not to be the person that's wallowing in it and like letting it hold you down and use it as a crutch. No, you go. You use that as your fuel to go. So I want to be the black girl that's doing laser tattoo removal, that's doing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then like you said, it didn't happen by chance, so God opened that door for you to be that black girl that's giving those services.
Yes, and so one profound thing that took place, so after I took the class, the machine for tattoo removal is $90,000.
Oh, Lord.
The machine for laser hair removal is $50,000.
Oh,
the tips,
yes,
this
Lord.
one 30, this is 40, this is 10,000. It's like,
all right.
okay, you know what I'm saying? And they're like, well, you know, we do offer, financing, but how old is your LLC?
Right.
2 days. My LLC 2 days old. Not for real, but
yeah.
I only been home like a kick in the bucket. I ain't been home that long.
Yeah.
So, not knowing, okay, Ciara, figure it out. I'm gonna make this happen. Somehow or another, I stumbled upon a gold mine. A lady that she owns a salon, and she has every machine that I need.
Look at God.
She don't even use it. It's like,
oh wow!
It just sits in a room. So she got the laser hair removal, she got the laser tattoo removal, and she just She's just like, Ciara, I just got it because my vision is this big, but I'm only one person, so my hair is really taking over. But so, you know, I kind of like didn't walk in. I've had this information for months. I've had this information probably for about 3 or 4 months, and I didn't move on it.
Gotcha.
I didn't move on it.
Wow.
Today, I did my first laser tattoo removal on
Here,
brows.
come on. Yes, girl, good for you.
I was like, Ciara, stop playing with yourself.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because you sitting here, you doing brows, and then you working a second job, and you know whatever it is, whatever it is that we got to do to make this industry work.
Yeah.
Use your gifts.
Yes.
Like, let your gifts make room for you. Let your gifts make room for you. And when the Lord tells you to move, or He shows you the sign, like a room that has equipment in there that's empty.
Yes. That's divine. That's what I like to call divine.
That's divine.
Yes.
It is absolutely divine. You got to take a chance on yourself.
Yes.
You got to bet on yourself.
Yep. And give yourself that room to grow. You know, give yourself that room and that opportunity to just, but like you said, it's like just taking that chance. Because sometimes you'll be like, oh, well, should I? Because is she charging you for it?
Yeah, I mean, a percentage.
Of course, a percentage. But she's still allowing you to use it. Like, that's like you said, that's like a door wide open. I feel like that's from God for sure.
That is definitely that's
divine.
Definitely from God.
Definitely.
Yes.
Because that like you too, and that make you feel like you didn't take the class in vain. None of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just really aligned for you. Yeah, I love that.
And I had to deal with myself even as of lately. It's like, you done spent all this money. You done spent $5,000+ on these classes, girl. Yeah. You didn't pick up not one laser.
Yeah. And that'll be the worst when you spend thousands of dollars on a class. I'll be feeling like after that, like, you don't have a choice but to do it. Because other than that, it's going to be like, you spent this money.
I got to make my money back.
I got to get this back. Cause,
like, somebody give me a laser.
Okay.
Somebody
I'll use anybody's at this point.
I will use anybody's laser. Yes.
I love that. Yes. Okay. So, what advice would you give your younger self, and really anybody that's like up and coming, want to be in the beauty profession, want to maybe do permanent makeup artistry? Like, what advice would you give them coming into the field? And just really, I would say any like young girls, young 20-year-olds and things like that.
Just start. And never, ever, ever give up.
Yes.
Don't give up. You can take a break. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to get your mind right or whatever. But never, ever, ever give up.
Yes.
Never, ever, ever give up on yourself. Like, even when I had to speak to some young girls just recently. Your mental health plays a huge part in what you're going to produce.
Yes.
I have decided as of lately that I'm going to look at all things as beautiful. So I don't care if if I get into a disagreement with somebody, or if I break up with somebody or whatever. Like, I am considering all things beautiful, because if I focus on the beauty, then beauty is what I'm going to produce.
Yes.
And so it's a lesson in everything, and as long as I'm learning, that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
As long as I'm learning something,
and it means you growing.
That's growth. That's growth. That's beautiful. Growing is beautiful. When you see somebody plant a seed and then you see a flower come out of that, that's beautiful.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to focus on nothing. It don't have to be negative. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, this person, they borrowed money from me, they ain't pay it back. Okay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, you owe me, but it's okay.
It's okay.
It's all right.
It's okay. I don't have to force the interaction. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let the Lord handle you. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, however somebody else chooses to look at it, I was a blessing to you.
Yeah.
And as long as my intention was correct, I'm gonna get back whatever I put out.
Yeah.
So I don't have to worry. I don't have to sit up and have an attitude. I don't have to have my face frowned up.
Yes.
You wanna know why? Because the Lord gonna take care of me anyway.
And you're gonna be blessed.
And I'm going to be blessed.
Yes. I agree with that 100%.
All I gotta do in life is just float.
Yeah.
Just float. You never know why certain situations you never know why a situation may occur. You don't know what the domino effect of it will be. We get so hung up on what's going on right here that we fail to look
down the line.
Yes. Because that negative event that took place right here, it could domino into something beautiful on that other end.
Yeah.
We're not in control.
Yeah.
Nothing happens by chance. It's all divine interaction. So if what I'm doing right here, what you did right there is supposed to happen, then who am I to try to control or fight against that?
Exactly.
Okay.
So just start.
Just start.
Yes, please.
Just start, and don't focus on none of the distractions going on. Don't focus on none of the distractions going on around you.
Yes.
Learn how to high step over that. And focus on what your goal is for the end goal.
The end goal, yes.
Focus on the end goal.
Okay.
And just start.
I think so. What is some advice that you would give your younger self? Now that you have made it through prison, you're out, you're a full-time entrepreneur. What is some advice that you would give your younger self? Like, because I'm sure your younger self did not know you would be here. So it's like, what advice would you give her? Little Ciara.
Oh, little Ciara. Girl. Little Ciara.
Yes.
Be true to yourself. Be true to who you are. Be true to yourself, because sometimes even the influence that your parents can have, and everybody has their own expectations on what life looks like. But be true to yourself and live your life for you. Unapologetically authentic.
So So you mentioned that you do provide a lot of services. Do you do makeup at all?
I do. Of course, outside of the permanent makeup, I do like, regular makeup or whatever. But another form of makeup that I do, and I don't know if this is the correct terminology. I always be like, girl, I gotta go do funeral makeup. But I do makeup for the deceased, like while they're transitioning. You know what I'm saying?
How was that experience? Because I always see like videos of people doing it. Like they might show a little BTS of it, and it just seems so emotional and spiritually connected a little bit. Because you like that last person that's with that person.
I can definitely attest to it being a spiritual thing. The first few times I did it, it was to my own family members. Wow. So coming fresh out of prison when my aunt passed away, my aunt's body was shipped from Kansas City. Kansas City is a lot of Caucasian people. Okay. And so my aunt was, at that point in time in her life, because she passed away from cancer, she was natural, like natural hair. And so they didn't really know how to do her stuff. So my auntie came. My family was in shambles when they seen my auntie, because she had like blue eyeshadow and pink lipstick, and her hair looked like Florida Evans. They didn't know what to do with my auntie's little, like her little afro, natural. They didn't have a sponge, they didn't know what to do. So when my mama and them, I'm talking about, they was like boo-hoo, and they like, it's a mess. The funeral is in, what we gonna do? And me and my aunt, before she passed away, we did discuss me like, Nisi, when you come home, you gonna do my eyebrows, and like we had plans. And so when my aunt came messed up, I was like, all right, fine, I'm gonna do it. Yeah. So my first time doing it was my auntie, and that was my first time outside of just being attendant to a funeral service. Yeah. Being in a room with a dead body by myself, you know what I'm saying? And then up close seeing a dead body before it's prepared to be put on display for people to see. Yeah. Like it was raw. And when I first walked in, her hand was like, I could see her hands in the casket. Off the hands alone, I was like, okay, so they must be about to take me to her, because her hands were so dark. Yeah, I didn't even realize that was her. Wow. And so when I walked up to the casket and I put my stuff down, I just had to, I stood there for a second, and then I was just like, okay, let me just touch it. Yeah, let me just touch her, because that's my auntie. It's cool, we cool. Yeah. Dead people, when you in there doing their makeup, if you're a person that's spiritually in tune, they talk to you. They say something. Wow. They say something to you. And so when I was able to have that time with my aunt, ours was more like, my auntie was the type of person, she never wanted people to feel sorry for her. So she was like trying to make me laugh, and we, you know what I'm saying? And we had our little tears, and then, it was like back on it. Yeah. That was a very special experience for me, because I had came home from prison, and because I had lost 10 years of time, and because she lived out of state when I got home, and I didn't get to connect with her physically. I didn't get to see my auntie in the physical alive. That was a special moment for me. Next, I did my grandma. My grandmother has such a harsh sense of humor. Got dark hair. That's me a little bit. I got a little dark hair. Y'all better not have me out here looking crazy. I guess, all right, well, you about to put this makeup on me then, girl. All right, well, like that's kind of how she was the whole time I was doing it. 2 days ago, I had the opportunity to do somebody that I didn't have that kind of connection with. I had never met this woman before, but it was somebody that was close to my best friend. And so that was kind of how I got that gig. Yeah. And when I walked in with her, the third time, like when you're going down to the room and you about to get to the dead body, it's like anxiety. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'm sitting on the elevator. I'm like, okay, it's cool. All right. Okay, I'm about to go in. But once I got to the room or whatever, I put my stuff down and I got right to work. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, okay, looking at her like, all right. She was probably in the worst shape that that I had ever done. It took me probably 6 hours to do her makeup. Wow. She had been on a ventilator prior to passing away. And so when you're on a ventilator, like it burns like the skin on your lips. So her lips the top lip was kind of like scabbed, and it looked like the ventilator just kind of ate it up. Wow. Okay. So I always ask, if I'm doing brows, if I'm doing makeup, if whatever service I gotta do, we're over the phone and I have not seen you in person, it's, hey, can you send me a picture? Because I like to familiarize myself with the foundation in which I'm going to be working with. You know what I mean? So when they sent me the picture, I said, oh, I got to build her a lip.
Wow.
So at that point, I had to get into my creative bag. And I had never done this before, but I got to build this lady a lip so that I could put lipstick on top of it. Because something scabbed and it's not smooth, that ain't going to look right.
Right, yeah.
So I'm grateful I was able to call Kayla Stringer, okay?
Shout out to you.
Shout out to you, because she came through. I'm like, Kayla, look, I got this lip. I got the build. You know what I'm saying? She like, okay, I'm not being funny. Send me a picture. I'm like, okay, cool. I said in my mind, I was thinking liquid latex, but I'm like, that's going to have me build. I was like, then I seen molding clay. And she looked at it. She said, oh, okay, yeah, you're going to need scar wax. Wow. And so I was able to get that, and I went in there for the first time and I did it, and I built her lip. And so of course when I was done, I said to Kayla, like, this what I did. She said, girl, you did good. She said, the first time, I know it's a pain in the ass, but she said, you did amazing. So when I walked into the room with this lady, it was a seriousness.
Yeah, because you didn't have that connection.
I mean, not for me. The energy was just serious.
Oh, period,
Before I do anything, like I'm doing this podcast, so I spoke to them girls, I prepare myself spiritually for all encounters that I'm gonna have. That like that's a job. Even before I do brows, if I ain't, Lord, use my hands, guide my hands. You know what I'm saying? To produce what I'm supposed to produce out of this situation. So when I walked in, the energy in there was serious. And then I got up to the casket and I'm like, okay. And then I put I went to take everything out the bag and I grabbed the wax. And when I grabbed the spatula and I started applying it to her lip, I heard her say, thank you.
Wow.
And so when I got done and I called my best friend and I was like, you know, the energy in there was a little serious. I said, it felt like she was filling me out at first. Like she like, let me see what this girl about to do. Cause, you know, I said, and then as soon as I picked up that wax and put it on her lip, like I was building her lip, I said, she told me thank you. And it was like a relief for her. And my best friend said, everything that you're describing is exactly how that lady was.
Wow.
You know, she was the kind of person that would observe you like, let me see, I don't know about her. And she said her image, it was super important to her. So for her to have that sigh of relief, because she knew what she looked like. She knew she did not look like herself, you know. Wow. So doing makeup for dead people is a hard job, because I feel like the family gets so stuck in their head like, okay, this how they used to look. Let's make them how they used to look. When a person dies, the best thing I could do is make this person beautiful.
Yes. Yeah.
I can't do what is not there.
Yeah.
I ain't seen not one person in the casket that looked like what they used to look like when they was alive. Because it just don't happen.
Yeah.
It just don't happen. So the family was pleased, and that's all I can, you know. That's
and that's good. And the strength that it takes to do that. Because when I used to do makeup, people ask me all the time, like, is that something that you do? And I don't think I have the the strength to do that. That do take a lot of strength to be able to get through, especially like the whole time. Like, and then like you said, with people that you don't really know like that, it's different when it's people that you know. But even with them, I would think it would be harder, because like you knew them, you know. So, and like you say, in your mind, you gotta already know, like, I'm not gonna be able to make them look just like how they used to look, but I can make you look beautiful, you know. So yes, that is a job to have, girl.
It is, because that's, look, my great grandma, she didn't wear no makeup, but here she in this casket. You got to put makeup on these people. They was like, dang, Niecy, you should have did Grandma Dean makeup when she was living. Because my grandma looked so
and she probably was like, girl, you got this makeup on me.
You got me looking like she probably was like a $2 house. But all her sisters and everything was like, she looked beautiful, like, you know what I'm saying? They was all amazed, you know what I'm saying? But there was no way, I can't give you what she looked like on a daily basis. I can't give you that. Yeah. I can only put something beautiful in this casket. That's it.
And that's your job, and that's good, because you being able to do that is great.
Yeah, it's weird, but I do enjoy it.
That's what I was just about to ask. Like, do you enjoy it?
I do. I enjoy it because I feel like it's a part of my purpose. Like me having that opportunity to do it on my aunt, you know, and then today still having taken other people after that. The Lord really dealt with me about building my kid. Like, build your kid up.
Yeah.
Build your kid up, because, you know, I would say that prison did grant me a certain amount of resilience, and I know how to compose my emotions a lot. I know how to compose my emotions a lot, depending on what the situation is.
Yeah.
A few years ago, depending on what the situation is. Today, I'm like,
You're in control.
I got this.
Yes.
I got this. You know what I'm saying? But I know how to compose my emotions, like you say, to pull out that strength to be able to execute the mission.
The job.
The
Yes.
job.
I love that. Yes. So I have another question. So do you feel like prison in general, do you feel like it did help you emotionally? Like strengthen you emotionally or prepare you, like make you a little bit more tough when it comes to certain things? Like how do you feel like what effect did prison have on your emotion?
I say prison stole some things from me, but prison gave some things to me. So it's like a 50-50.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Being like the way that you have to deal with death in prison, you know, it's you on the phone and they like, dang, you know, TT passed away or whatever, right? Depending on how long you done been in prison, you've already kind of detached from it anyway. You understand? Because I don't see you every day.
Yeah.
The brain is out of sight, is really out of mind.
That's true.
You know,
yeah.
And so when they tell you, of course, the memory of what maybe you and this person shared kind of floods your mind, but it only lasts for like this long. Wow. Like literally, I ain't even gonna say that I would be tore up for a lot of days. It might be a moment of time, and then later on I might be like out somewhere with my friends, and then later on I'm like, dang, that's just dang. I might shed 2 tears, might drop, and then I'm like,
yeah,
all right, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's a force. You're forced to be like that, which out here can be like a gift and a curse because it adds to the resilience that you need to be able to get through your day to day. Yes, but. The reason why I say it kind of stole some things too, because being negligent to your emotions is not conducive to mental health. So,
right. I get what you're saying. Being completely detached does not. Yeah, it doesn't help healing.
No,
at all. Yeah, I can agree with that.
Nope.
Okay, so yes, okay, I can definitely see that balance that it kind of provided for you. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yep.
Good.
All right. Okay. Hey, you guys, welcome to Face to Face segment part 2, where your host will be being interviewed by the lovely Ciara. So yes, girl, let's get into it. Give me the grill. Let's see.
Okay. So I don't know. This first question is not really like grilling, but you know, when I first seen the advertisement for Face to Face,
yes,
I'm like, Binky doing a podcast. How long has this been in the works for you?
Well, a podcast period has been in the works for like years. Mm-hmm. Like we could take it back to 2020. I wanted to do a podcast, but my whole thing has always been like me being by myself. Cause like I don't have a lot of friends, you know, I don't have a lot of, you know, most podcasts, they have somebody on the couch with them or they talking. I don't really have that, but I do like to talk to people. I ask really good questions, and I always just wanted to kind of like, you know, allow people to get to know my personality in that light. Mm-hmm. So I was like, this year though, I've been on that journey of I'm doing everything I said I was gonna do. I'm not letting nothing stop me, you know, whatever it is, especially if I can do it, I'm gonna make it happen. Mm-hmm. So the name, actually, my beautiful sister helped me, you know, come up with it. Yes, she helped me come up with the Face to Face podcast name. Because of course, you know, I am a licensed esthetician. I go by my business is Face Therapy 101, and then my artist name, I'm a singer as well, so I go by Face, just Face by itself. So I was like, well, let me do Face to Face, and I want my podcast to really touch on a lot of things that I believe in. I am a mental health advocate. I really believe in, you know, putting your mental health first, especially because I also have had situations where just like, especially like really all of my 20s to me, I wasn't putting my mental health first. So I'm like, now I want to say like, ever since really my boyfriend has passed away, that's what kind of made me like, okay, this is something serious that you got to, because like the first year I was kind of like just trying to stay busy, just trying to stay, you know, like I was in and out of like healing, but I wasn't really focused on it. My whole thing is, okay, well, creating this new life, you know, because for me, that's how I felt. I was dating him since we were like on and off since we were like 14. So to me, like, he was like that safe space, like that crutch. You know, it's like, if I don't have nobody, I do know I have him, you know. So with him not being here, it was just like, well, I now have to see life without that person. You know, who is Bianca without that person, without friends, without all of that. So this year I was like, yeah, I'm doing it. And actually I wanted to do, at first I did want it to be like about beauty, but like I said, with me being such a mental health advocate, and I'm really big on people talking about their stories, talking about healing, and especially face to face, talking about it with somebody. Because a lot of times when you trying to, or you will talk to people and share your story, sometimes, you know, everybody just not, I don't even want to say, they don't have empathy. You know, a lot of people, you know, in their mind, well, I made it through, you know, what I went through. So they don't really care what you going through, you know. But for me, I feel like people, especially like entrepreneurs or really anybody, people need that space to be able to share their story, what they've been through, their side of the story, you know, like just what they've been through, what's encouraging them to keep going, you know, while also taking, you know, a little bit of laughs, you know, we have a good time too. But I did just want to create a podcast where we really just discuss, you know, ourselves, our stories, our journeys, life, and just how we can become better people, things like that. So yeah, this been in the works really for, like I say, some years, but this year, within like the last couple of months, I was like, I'm doing this before the end of the year is over. And so ever since, I just been like, let me just go ahead and do it. And I want to, you know, like I said, get to know people. If I don't have the friends to do it with, I'll just invite guests on and allow, you know, everybody to share their story, and we could talk about things deep face to face.
Okay.
Yes.
So earlier I asked you, what do you call yourself in terms of like, you know, your profession, you know,
Okay.
because we know you're an esthetician, you sing, you know.
Yes.
And so you said that you were what?
Archimist.
Archimist.
Yes,
Okay.
because I'm an artist and a chemist. You know, I like to mix and master with the skincare stuff. Don't get me wrong. I be in there whipping it up. I turned into a little chef myself. Okay. I was a little chemist in there, but I'm also an artist, so it's also creativity to me. That's also what drew me to the beauty industry, is just like the creativity behind it. I got into makeup first, and then from there, when I was introduced into the world of skincare, that really had me like, oh, okay, this is like something. So I didn't know nothing about it before esthetician school. I just mainly, I knew about facials, but I just thought it was like a spa experience. I did not know it was like corrective skincare. So once I learned about that, and I seen, like I said, I'm big on science too. I do love science. So once I got into that, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm about to take this serious. And once I got in school, after I got out of school, I was still doing makeup a little bit, but I knew like I'm good at skincare. And in school, I was really good at it. So I'm like, I know I want to do this like full time. So from there, I worked at a spa for about 6 months, learned her whole menu. And from there, I was like, well, let me just go off on my own. And I've been healing skin ever since. Yes.
Ever since. So how do you ensure you're taking care of yourself while running so many different businesses?
That's a good question. Because I'm not even literally, like, I'm not going to say that I like take 100% like, oh, I'm just like, I have the best life. You like, you know, or I'm just like, I am big on self-care, but I tell my clients all the time, like, I need to do more for myself. Like my off days consist of me really just chilling, relaxing. You know, I was just talking to my sister that I was talking about like how like my finances, it don't go to mainly like trips. Like I don't really take a lot of vacations. A lot of my stuff go to food. You know, I'm a big eater. You know, so my money be going to food. But yeah, self-care wise, I would like do my own facials and things like that. Massages I am big on because especially like with my service, my posture. So I do try to be like really big on that, really big on my massages and things like that. Mental health, I do take mental health days. If my mental is not right that day, I probably might have to take the day off and, you know, cool it a little bit because it can become overwhelming. And then I am still dealing with grief, you know, in and out of grief. So it's like some days are just harder than others. And everybody, of course, is not going to understand that. So, but like I said, I'm real big on taking mental health days, putting that first. But I feel like I could do better with self-care. Honestly, me, myself, like just prioritizing that time, gaining new experiences, you know, and really just doing better with creating that life for myself, you know. But yeah, self-care wise, like I said, I'm doing a little self-work myself. But yeah, more so like, yeah, like I said, I'm big on my massages. Here recently, I have been really going after my dreams has helped a lot with my self-care because I put a lot of things on hold, or like I could just say I was distracted from it, you know, because I can't even say I put it on hold. It's like every year I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and then I just get distracted, like, you know, just it'll be just so much different stuff going on. So here, especially like this year, doing everything I said I was gonna do, going after my dreams, because I've been really being an artist was like my first love. I've been wanting to sing and stuff. I told my mama I was not going to college. I was gonna be an artist. I was gonna be Beyonce. That's what I told her. So it's like that.
Not right now. We don't want to be
okay. Not in this climate of the industry, you know. But yeah, you know. So for me, going after my dreams this year has been a really huge self-care thing for me, and has helped a lot with like my self-esteem, my confidence, my mental health. Because I do feel like that. Like when you're not living in purpose, God kind of puts you in situations where you don't have a choice, but you're gonna find your way to go and live in purpose. Like you're gonna do what God wants you to do at the end of the day, or what He's called you to do. So you'll find yourself in situations where it's just like, it seemed this not for me, you know. Like at first everything will be good, but then you just be like, this not it. So now that I have been living in purpose, I feel like now I'm healing more. Now I am, you know, just becoming more self-aware, more confident, more just focused on me, you know. So really going after my dreams, I feel like this year has been big on my self-care journey.
I to piggyback off that, like I feel like I run myself down to the ground. You know what I'm saying? So I know I can agree with you when you say like, sometimes I'm good and sometimes I'm not. Yeah. It be once I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh girl, you got a little few bellies under your eyes.
Listen.
And so learning how to prioritize self, because yes, it is very important that we go after our dreams. Yes. And sometimes it is like pedal to the metal, but making yourself a priority in terms of saying, okay, let me sit down, let me pamper me, let me do that. That is also what I've learned is something that can catapult you to that next level. Because you know, when you tired and you wore down, your energy depleted, and you're not giving your
best.
You're not giving your best.
And people will look at you and think, oh, she seemed fine, or why aren't you giving your best? But it's like, they can't see you like how you know you can see you when you look in that mirror. So that is very true. That is very true.
Yep. That looked like I was. What have you learned about grief that can maybe help somebody else that is in a grieving situation?
That's a good question. Honestly, just take your time with it. You know, that's what I've been doing. I feel like I said, some days are definitely harder than others. But just really take your time with it. Don't let nobody rush you to get over something or to get through it, or to, you know, you got to move on, you got to do this, you got to do that. Like, when people are not in your shoes and have not walked the experience that you have up until that point where you are now experiencing grief, they don't really know how, or I feel like sometimes what to say. So I feel like that's what most people say, like, oh, you know, you just got to move on, or you got to. But I would definitely give somebody, like, or tell them, like, take your time with grief, take your time with healing. It's okay to be living good, because at first, when, you know, in the beginning, when good things would be happening for me, you know, you feel bad a little bit. It's like, you know, well, all of this stuff happening, and it's like, is it a good thing, or is it like a test, or is it like and then you feel bad because like that person isn't here to be able to share those experiences with you, and you thought they would be, and different things like that. So it's just like, take your time with it, with grief. Cry when you need to, feel it when you need to, because sometimes it will just hit you, you know, but that's okay. Like, just feel it. That's what I will say too. Feel your emotions. It's okay. And two, like I said, don't let nobody also belittle you in your grief. Like, oh, like I said, oh, I thought you would be over that, or oh, is it really that deep? Like, yeah, it's really that deep to some people, you know, or through what they're going through. Everybody, what I have learned too is that everybody heals differently. Yes. You know, everybody's healing journey is so different. So it's like, what works best for you, and take that time to really see what works best for you. Don't try to rush nothing. Just really take your time with your grief. I don't care how many years it has been or how long that it's been, you know, just really take your time with it.
Yeah. I kind of learned that grief doesn't necessarily just mean the physical death of a person.
Yeah.
You know, like, so my aunt passed away. That was my first cousin's mom. And he was, what I've learned about grief is that grief sometimes can be a choice. Grief sometimes can be a choice.
A choice like what? Like what you mean when you say a choice? Yes.
Got you.
What you mean when you say a choice?
Okay, so like, my cousin went through a phase where he was like every day he would post something on Facebook and it would be something sad.
Yeah.
We get to choose the mind frame that we are in.
I agree.
So although I might be sad that my aunt is not here, or you know what I mean, it doesn't mean that I have to stay in a, oh, she not here, what am I gonna do without her? Oh my God, I can't live my life without. The things that you say in your mind and the things that you say out of your mouth really, really affect the progress of a situation. So if I'm saying I can't, I can't, that word can't, it's going to immediately do something to your brain where it stops the progress
growth.
from happening. It's going to stop the progress from happening. So when I say, I know me saying grief is a choice, it could come off a little bit insensitive, but I don't mean it in an insensitive manner because, so when I had to reach out to him, I said, hey, cuz, listen, I love you. You know what I mean? And so let me give you a few tools, you know what I'm saying? To help, because we do have to challenge our thoughts.
Yes.
We have to challenge our thoughts. Like, oh, they not here to see me. Oh, I'm doing all of this and this.
Yes.
But when a way to counteract that thought is to, I know you looking, I know you proud of me.
Yep.
I know he proud of me.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I know that if he was here today, he would want me to enjoy this part.
Yes. And I feel like that is definitely like a part of a phase that you go through. Like it's a point that you get to that point. Cause I cannot remember what the post was about. Cause somebody had said something similar, but in their words, they didn't say it. Like even the way you said that, it was very not insensitive, but sensitive. Like you seemed very sympathetic with the way you said that. The way that their post was kind of like, you know, oh, you think they want you down here crying about them? And it's like, I'm sure they probably don't, but at the same time, like people, it's a phase. Like you can't tell somebody to stop crying, you know, like if it hurts them or it's sad, but it is like showing them, or like you said, giving them tools, like giving somebody tools. Let me give you the tools to look at this a certain kind of a different kind of way, you know, because I do receive and agree with what you're saying when you say it's a choice. I feel like your growth, like the choices that you make, will allow you to move forward in your grief. Like, so, like how you said, like, it's more so like, okay, changing your mindset on certain things when you're looking at it, or like you said, if you're feeling down, it's like, well, they proud of me, or I might not have them here, but they done brought somebody else into my life now, where now it's like, they're helping me go through this, or things like that. So looking at the brighter side of it, I do agree with that. You know, you have to find a way at some point to pick yourself up. To pick yourself up. So yes, I agree with that 100%. So yes, I love that. I could, yes. All right, well, yes, it was nice having you. And we will be back with episode 3. I'm definitely probably gonna have you on again. Yes, because I like our little girl talks. So yes, but thank you all for watching. I will see you guys again for episode 3. Bye. Yes, make sure y'all follow her and support her. She slays the brows, okay? So yes, we will talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye. That is I Am Babes and Blades. It's a Z, B-A-B-E-Z, Blades, B-L-A-D-E-Z. I'm about to say at gmail.com. Girl, that is my email. I Am Babes and Blades on Instagram. Yes. All right. See y'all. Talk to y'all later.